I am Shubham from Informatica GCS team, and in this session, we will explore OAuth authentication. We will see how OAuth authentication works in Databricks and how to set up Databricks Connector with OAuth authentication in IDMC. One of the ways to authenticate with Databricks was Personal Access Token or PAT, but they have certain limitation in terms of security and governance. OAuth offers a standard, secure, and flexible way to authenticate, whether it's users connecting through BI tools or automated systems like CI/CD pipelines. Our main focus will be specially on M2M, which is essential while integrating Databricks with IDMC. This is the agenda for this session. We will see a quick introduction to OAuth authentication. We will see a general OAuth flow. Then we will see OAuth M2M authentication, which will be followed by a demo. So what is OAuth authentication? OAuth is secure, recommended method to connect to Databricks. Unlike personal access tokens or PATs, OAuth tokens are short-lived and refreshable, lowering credential leakage risks. There are two major flavors for OAuth: user to app OAuth, which is interactive login for tools like Power BI, Tableau, or developers, and app to app, which is M2M authentication, machine to machine authentication, which is service principles for automation, scheduled jobs, and CI/CD. This is the general OAuth flow. The OAuth 2.0 flow starts with the client requesting authorization. For user flows, this involves login and approval screen. Once approved, Databricks issues an authorization code. The client exchanges the code for an access token, which is valid for about 1 hour, and a refresh token, which are longer lived. These tokens are then used to securely call Databricks APIs, JDBC, or ODBC connections or integrate with third party tools. This is the flow for machine to machine OAuth authentication. In M2M scenario, we don't want interactive logins. Instead, we rely on service principals in Azure Active Directory or AWS Identity Center. The client authenticates using client ID and the secret ID combination with Databricks OAuth endpoint. The OAuth server issues an access token without user involvement. This token is used by automation tools, APIs to authenticate security. Now let's see a quick demo. Straight, I will be using Databricks provided free workspaces, and I will be illustrating how to create service principal and client IDs. Please note that this is just for illustration purpose, and you need to check with your Databricks admins to get the client ID and secret ID. So this is the Databricks provided free workspace, and I am currently in identity and access. So here, if you see, I'll just click on the home screen again. So I am in identity and access. So here there is service principal sections. I'll just click on manage and I'll just add service principal. So let me just say dummy OAuth principal. And I'll just click on add. So the service principal is added. I'll just click on the service principal and I'll just click on secrets and I'll just click on generate secrets. Here you can specify the time. I'll just give 90 days and this is the client ID and secret ID. You can copy this client ID and secret ID for passing it in connections. As I have mentioned earlier as well, please check with your Databricks admins to provide the secret client ID and the secret ID details because this needs to be done from the Unity catalog. So I have got the client ID and secret ID details from my Databricks admin, and I'll just go to my IDMC console where I'll just try to create a new connection passing the OAuth details. Please remember that you need to log in, you need to validate whether the Databricks connector is enabled or not before creating the Databricks connection using OAuth authentication. So I'll just click on my runtime environment and I'll just click on enable or disable connections. I'll just go to connectors and here I'll just type Databricks. So as you can see, Databricks connector is checked on, which means I can use this runtime environment to create the Databricks connection and run my mappings using Databricks. I'll just close this. Now I'll just hover over to my connections page and I'll just click on new connection. So here I can pass any connection name. Okay. And I can pass, sorry for the, okay. And I will just select the type as Databricks. So here, yeah, Databricks. And the next step will be to pass the runtime environment. So I'll just select the runtime environment where we validated that the Databricks connector is already enabled. So my runtime environment name was this one. Fine. So the next thing will be to copy the SQL Warehouse JDBC URL, and I'll just go ahead and I'll just validate first. Okay, so I'll just copy my SQL Warehouse JDBC URL string. So I'll just go to connection details and I'll just copy paste this. Okay, now here if you can see, this is the authentication type set to personal access token. However, we want to connect using OAuth. So I'll just click on this drop down and I'll just select OAuth M2M. Now I'll pass the client ID and secret ID. So this is my client ID. Let me just copy it. And this is the client secret. I'll pass the catalog name which I am having access to. Now there is just one last thing which I want to validate here. So by default, it has copied the default schema. However, I know that there is no default schema present in the catalog name which I am using. So I have corrected the schema name here and I'll just go ahead and test the connection. Because advanced settings are not validated when you are testing your connection. I'll just revalidate again if my Databricks SQL warehouse is up so that it will not take time to. Okay, fine. So my SQL warehouse is up. And okay, so as you can see, the test, so our test connection is successful, and I'll just show the importing, how you can import the object using the same connection. So I have just switched myself on data integration and I'll just create a new mapping. I had created a Databricks connection earlier which was using OAuth authentication. So this is the mapping, and here I'll just use that connection which I created earlier. And just click on select to import the objects. Okay, so my schema was this one, and I'll just click on tables. Then I'll just click on the object. As you can see, the object is imported, and this is the field which this object is having. Now, if you run the mapping using the objects, In the session log, you will see this line, the authentication type used for Databricks sources, OAuth M2M. That's all for this demo. Okay, so these are some troubleshooting tips. So if you are passing incorrect client secret ID or client ID, then you might see this error. So in such scenarios, you can also check the TIS Tomcat log for getting the detailed error stack, or you can create a, or you can check with your Databricks admin team if the client ID and secret ID is correct. There is this Java program in the KB link which I have provided here. Uh, and this Java program will help you to test the auth details, what you are passing, like the client ID and secret ID you are passing is correct or not. It will just run the Java program externally, like on your secure agent machine to validate this. If the client ID and secret IDs are not correct, we'll recommend you to check with your Databricks admin team. And if they are correct and still you are not getting, still the test connection is not working fine, please create a case with Informatica GCS support. These are the best practices. So the biggest advantage of OAuth is it is centralized, short-lived, and scope tokens. It integrates with enterprise security policies like MFA and consolidated access and audit logging. For automation, OAuth is always preferred. And you can regularly rotate client secrets and revoke unused tokens. And one more thing here will be like you can follow the least privilege principle, like you can only give access to the resources which are needed. You can refer this Informatica documentation, which provides a detailed overview how you can set up OAuth authentication with IDMC Databricks Connector. We would love to hear from you. You can mail us at supportvideos@informatica.com or you can tweet at twitter.com infasupport. Thank you.